What is up, Planeswalkers? There's6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena, and today I'm playing a deck that many of you might be confused as to why I am playing it, and that's Budget Burn. I have stated several times that I kind of distaste mono red as it is right now in Standard. That said, I realize that many people who watch my channel might want to play that deck, and they might want potentially some advice on how to build that deck in a budget fashion, since right now there are decent numbers of rares and even potentially mythics that are floating around in various lists. So what I'm doing here is the budget style of this deck is all commons and uncommons except for an allowance of 4 rares. I did this in the closed beta, except I also included things from the welcome decks, but I'm not going to faff with that. I'm just going to have all commons and uncommons and an allowance of 4 rares, because I think 4 rares is relatively easy for a newer player to get if they're trying to work for a specific deck. Now, I chose Risk Factor as the rare because I think in a burn deck, it is just the best thing to have. Over Frenzy, over like Steamkin, I think Risk Factor is the best. Now, this is pretty much a deck that wants to burn your opponent as fast as possible, but you might notice some strange includes, particularly Electrostatic Field. This one, I was finding that the more competitive, more rare and mythic driven burn decks had a easier time like killing you, and a lot of that was to do with them having a better creature sweep. And I found adding the Electrostatic Fields didn't take too much away from the deck, since we essentially just used that slot as removal, but it also allowed us to have each of our burn spells do a little bit more. So going through, we have 4 Fanatical Firebrands and 4 Ghitu Lavarunners. These are the premier 1-drops. Lavarunners can have haste late game or early game, just be a decent attacker. You're likely going to get an instant or sorcery, 2 instant sorceries in your graveyard very quickly. And Fanatical Firebrand is a card that gets in really early, can help remove a pesky creature, or just dome your opponent in the late game, especially with Flame of Keld's 3rd chapter. We're running 4 Shocks because we want burn, 4 Lightning Strikes because we want burn, and 4 Wizard's Lightning because we want burn. All 3 of these cards play the same role. We almost always are going to point this at our opponent's face unless we know that we are going to have more time to draw more burn by destroying a creature. There's an interesting balance here in that you want to reduce your opponent's life total from 20 to 0 as soon as you can, but you have to recognize that we have very few creatures, and those creatures are relatively weak. If we are in certain situations, we're going to want to kill a 4/3 Jadelight Ranger, for example, instead of pointing this at our opponent's face. And it's really nuanced knowing when exactly we should do that. Other 2-drops are Viashino Pyromancer. This card just domes our opponent for 2 or 4 if we have Flame of Keld. It also is a Wizard's, which decreases Wizard's Lightning. I forgot Ghitu Lavarunner is also a Wizard. These 2 are not. That's fine. So if you're on 3 mana, you are going to be able to play a Pyromancer plus a Wizard's Lightning, which is very nice. We're running 3 Lava Coils. This is just because, again, we find that some creatures just are larger than ours, and we need to get rid of them. Luckily, this also exiles them, so the green-black mid-range decks that deal with the graveyard, we're not going to matter too much. And it also means that since we have Electrostatic Field in the deck, we're not necessarily wasting that card slot. For Flame of Keld, now Flame of Keld essentially is the choice instead of Experimental Frenzy. There are Frenzy decks, and there are Flame of Keld decks typically. In that if you're one, you're usually not the other. And Flame of Keld is the cheaper version. It's only an uncommon, whereas Experimental Frenzy is a rare. This card is pretty much what you're going to want to play on a functionally empty hand. You might have to discard 1 or 2 things. Hopefully those things are just like extra lands or something. And then you're going to be able to draw 2 cards and either kill your opponent outright when you draw those 2 cards, or set up a 3rd turn when you hit to that 3rd chapter where your opponent just dies to like 2 burn spells. And then of course we get to our rare. We are running 4 rare risk factors. Now, the reason we're doing this is because our opponent, none of the options are good, right? Either they take 4, in which case we're going to be able to burn them more easily, or they let us draw 3 cards, in which case we're going to likely be able to burn them easily. And luckily, we only run 21 lands, so we are not likely to draw into just a ton of lands, risk factors, or Flame of Kelds. That said, sometimes you have situations where you keep a 2-lander and you don't get any 3rd lands, which means, risk factor is harder to cast, but then you have Flame of Keld. Discarding risk factor off of Flame of Keld, not terribly bad because you have Jumpstart, so there's a lot of good synergy here. So now I'm going to talk about the cards that you could add if you want to make the deck different or upgrade it. Runaway Steamkin is the replacement essentially for Electrostatic Field. This card gets larger and gives you more mana to play more burn spells. It's just an incredibly great card in this style of mono red deck, and it just is essentially functionally better than Electrostatic Field. Gutter Snipe is a card that I like, that I know a lot of other people don't. It is kind of too slow for this format, unfortunately. However, if you want the games to go on a little bit longer, care a little bit more about playing the burn spells, and you just want to have fun burning your opponent's face, pinging them over time, then Gutter Snipe is a good include, though not necessarily super strong. Arclight Phoenix, if you could splash blue for this, you don't have to, but it does mean that if you are in a slot where you're trying to maybe combo spells on a single turn, it also helps because it's something you can discard to risk factor. It's something that you don't mind discarding to Flame of Keld. That said, it does cost 4 mana naturally, so that is a consideration on your mana. Experimental Frenzy is, I believe, the more popular mono red deck right now, as opposed to Flame of Keld. That style of deck runs, I think, a higher mana count, but not by much. I think it's only 22 or 23 lands. But essentially, what it allows you to do is just get an insane amount of value over time. If you're able to hit that 4th land drop and play Experimental Frenzy, as long as you're not running double lands on top of your deck, you can just keep playing card after card after card. And with something like, for example, Runaway Steamkin, if you have these two together, you are casting spells, and Steamkin is giving you potentially giving you mana to just keep casting spells. It's a fantastic combination, and it's a card that I hate. Then we're looking at Rekindling Phoenix. This is if you want to take the game a little bit more to the mid-range style, take out some of your earlier creatures, maybe your shocks, some of your early burn, and throw in a really nice resilient creature. This card is really annoying for a lot of opponents to deal with, but especially destruction-based control opponents. They're going to have a hard time getting rid of this card outright, and you're going to be able to get through for a lot of damage with it. And then last, but certainly not least, is Banefire. If you are sick of those darn dirty counterspells and you just want them to burn, Banefire is great. That said, in order to have a consistent X equals 5 or more, you're likely going to be wanting to run more than 21 lands, and in that style of deck, you're probably going to be wanting maybe Experimental Frenzy, so Banefire is definitely a more late-ish game deck, whereas this deck is our opponent's dead super quick, or we just have run out of gas. Hopefully, it's the former and not the latter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these cards out of the sideboard, because we don't want that affecting our gameplay, because we are not playing best of 3 with this. We're playing best of 1, because frankly, I think there's too much ability to hate on this style of deck with various life gain strategies and whatnot. So yes, while I do not necessarily love this strategy, I think it's worth showcasing. Alish Norn! Oh, and he's Tezzeret too, or she, I have no idea. They're Tezzeret. Awesome. Wait, excuse me, what? This is a fine hand. We technically have like too many lands. But it's fine, we can cast things. I'm not crazy, right? They were Tezzeret. I'm very confused. Sure, that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack you now. Alright. Elish. So that has to die. That 100% has to die. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Their creatures, the non-budget versions, their creatures are typically going to be better than ours. So I could have just pinged it with Fanatical Firebrand, but I think that I'm going to get more value off of the Firebrand over the course of the game. They could kill my Firebrand with theirs to protect their Steamkin. I don't think they should. And they're doing it. I don't think they should because this is a 2/2 right now. That said, I have a really easy course of action here, and this is something I described in the DeckTech, where we have 3 mana, and we can go ahead and play out a Viashino and kill this. And we kill this because we get more value out of attacking with our creatures, because we can see our creatures as essentially burn spells that just occur over the course of the game. Wow, that's Steamkin hand. So they can kill our Pyromancer. I don't think they should. Yeah, they should kill our Lavarunner. Oh, they had to do X equals 1. So Steamkin is another good card with Banefire, just because you could potentially get some good stuff here. I am going to play... I think I would rather play the field. I am running... So that's the thing, right? We're both running low on value here. But the difference is, I'm going to be able to keep attacking them with my creatures. I just wanted to get the value out of the field. As you can see, if it was Steamkin, it would be better. But I can Viashino Pyromancer to get through some damage. Legion Warboss is unfortunate. I will be able to block this, which is fine. Warboss is a card I didn't actually talk about. So that's something that you could include if you wanted to. I'm not sure you necessarily need to, but I'm going to attack. If they want to trade a better 3-drop for mine, that's fine, yeah. So next turn, hopefully we're going to have something we don't care about getting rid of, or something we can cast, and we can get Flame of Keld going, and hopefully close out this game. Yeah, and I mean, we'll take 1 damage here. No need to trade this Viashino Pyromancer. Honestly, since they're so far behind, I think they should have not attacked with this, but they do have another blocker. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just burn their face, and then play Flame of Keld. We're so far ahead now that we don't even care, right? We just don't even remotely care that they have a better board than us. We're not going to attack. We can just hold back blockers. And our opponent is almost certainly dead next turn. We draw so many good cards that they're just unlikely to live, right? We have 1 Wizard's Lightning left, so unlikely there. But and we have all of our lightning strikes. Even a shock wins because of Electrostatic Field, right? So yeah, so I'll kill Warboss here. Don't even remotely care. Just block this. Don't. I do actually care if this dies. So we're so far ahead. I think it's fine to not even put this in harm's way, because we want to be able to win off of a shock. Just because we have some amount of those. Another Phoenix is still too little, too late. I'm gonna draw some cards. Not the best, to be honest. But we can play all of it. Flame of Keld, which means during our next turn, we're going to draw. So as long as we aren't just dead out of nowhere, we're going to draw 2 cards, well, 3 total, and have the extra burn. So even if Fanatical Firebrand lives, right, they're technically dead on board to Fanatical Firebrand. That's unfortunate. Because I might need to block. No, they can attack with everything. They have an empty hand. Yeah, that's fine. So we won with Fanatical Firebrand thanks to the last part of a Flame of Keld, just so you guys can read it. +2. This shocks for 1. Wow, and we actually would have drawn like nothing to win, but Fanatical Firebrand, luckily, the reason one of the good reasons we're running it is how well it combos with Flame of Keld. Hey, we're out of silver. I feel kind of bad ranking into silver. And playing burn. It's fine. We're only playing 4 rares. We're not tryhards, I swear. No, I don't hate burn. I think my biggest problem with mono red isn't like the mono red deck. It's mono red coffee specifically. I really don't like, and I think I have the same problem with Bomat Courier from previous standard going against CBE Bop. Is that it like fundamentally changes how red plays. So Bomat Courier, if you couldn't answer it early, it just meant that they can empty their hand with impunity and at any time recoup anything that they lost. We're going to keep, once again, technically too many lands. We would prefer only 2 lands and 1 more like gas card, but this is fine. Ugh, I'm so sick of these mirror matches. And that's not great. I will play this instead of a Firebrand. They technically bounce off each other right now. My opponent likely is going to burn the Lavarunner. No, just Pyromancer, sure. So these technically bounce off each other. Cool. And here I do think I'm just gonna Electrostatic Field. My opponent went first, so technically like they're the aggressor. So playing Electrostatic Field here means that we're gonna be able to block a little bit easier, and casting all of our risk factors are gonna be slightly better. So, yeah, so Bomat Courier, right? Do I block there? I feel like Electrostatic Field is almost certainly dead. I think we like block there and block here. Because I think we want the long game, since we guarantee have risk factors here. Yeah, I think we want the long game. So I'm hoping that our opponent doesn't have a... I shouldn't have blocked, yeah. I think I just shouldn't have blocked there. I think that was incorrect. But I'm not good with red deck, so we're gonna do this end of turn. Very unfortunate, as I said, that we just keep drawing lands. But yeah, Bowman Courier essentially made it so that the red decks could just do whatever they wanted. I'm going to go ahead and take that action. And I assume my opponent's going to do the same, yep. Now, these mono red matchups, I will say, definitely favor whoever's going first. We'll play the Firebrand here. Firebrand honestly might just block and ping. We risk factor end of turn. Yeah, Experimental Frenzy operates on a very similar axis as Womet Courier did, in that the red decks can just not care. And just, like, you know, use their hand up all they wanted. And then they cast it, and they can just get back in the game depending on what's on top. So, I don't dislike mono red. I dislike coffee. And when I say coffee, it's Experimental Frenzy. The flavor text talks about coffee. I'm showing them the other risk factor, but I would rather do this instead of discarding a land, because I might want to play the land. We'll play the land. I guess we use risk factor now and discard the mountain and actually hope that they just take the 4 damage so that we can Flame of Keld. Because I want a Flame of Keld. Cool. And now we Flame of Keld. So our opponent is on 7. We're technically on, like, less, but I think I'm going to let my opponent draw cards. I'm not sure. They're going to risk factor me, almost certainly. But, so they're congested on mana. So, technically we're on 10. I'm certain they're going to be able to put another card in the graveyard for Ghitu. So we're functionally on 10. We don't really want to be functionally on 6. Because then we just die to double Lightning Strike. Being on 10 means that it's going to take more turns. So I think I'm just going to decline and let them draw some cards. Yeah, I think declining there is correct. I'm not sure. If you do end up playing this deck and you are coming up against a lot of the mono red decks, you can sub out Electrostatic Field for Diamond Mare. Diamond Mare is also a fine include in the sideboard if you're playing best of 3 with this deck. Just because if you're able to resolve a Diamond Mare, just naming red on it will almost certainly win you the game. It's a 1/3, which means it's relatively hard to deal with. You know, they have plenty of 3 damage removal spells, but that's 1, 3 damage not going to your face, and 2, it means that just a shock isn't going to kill it. Wizard's Lightning, sure. So Wizard's Lightnings could all be problematic. They only have two left. They need, like, both other 2. Shock, sure. I'm down to 5, but 5 is not 0. This risk factor is in the graveyard. Electrostatic Field means I can at least block. If I get Burning spells, I didn't get that many Burning spells. So I can field. I'm almost certainly dead, to be honest. I think I risk factor, discard the mountain, and hope that I get a mountain and a shock so I can kill their Lavarunner. I don't even know if I care about the Lavarunner just because I have the field. I could have technically risk factored first, but there's no way they go to 3, right? Like I'd still have 2 mana up. There's no way that they go to 3. If I don't die, then I'm pretty much certain to win next turn, thanks to Flame of Keld's 3rd chapter. Oh, man. I'm almost certainly dead, though. I mean, the thing is, I'd be at 1 if I did take their 4. Well, that's not so true. I think we just pass. I think we just pass and hope. But the fact that our opponent didn't oh yeah, we're actually dead. And let's see the burn spell. And honestly, it's almost 100% because yeah, It's pretty much just because we went second, to be honest. So we had to be on the defensive. You could argue that Electrostatic Field is just, like, not worth it in this deck, but several plays I could have made that could have been different. I would like to not be playing mirror matches when we get the Hylian. One thing that's good about playing aggressive decks, besides the fact that I'm trash at them, I mean, this is fine, is that usually you get 4 or 5 games of video. Hey, it's not the mirror match. Cool. I'm gonna play this here. Burn them. Hopefully this isn't Merchant's red-black deck, because that runs Sovereign's Bite, and Sovereign's Bite hurts. Alright, it's green-black. Cool. Okay, it's a different version of green-black. So here I can just be, like, super annoying. Lava Coil this to attack for 2. Like, functionally what Lava Coil is doing is letting us attack for 2. Like, it's a 2 damage burn spell. But also, like, they're potentially gonna, like, use that card, right? And Lava Coil, just being able to exile it, it's fantastic. It's good art. Jade Light, sure. I want to see what they get. I'm almost certainly going to Wizard's Lightning it, but I do want to see what they get here. See if they keep that on top. I assume they will. Nope. Midnight Reaper. That's a dangerous card to keep. They keep Midnight Reaper on top. Hylian, don't fear the Reaper. Something wins. I don't know music, right? So we are going to need to get some Flame of Kelds or some risk factors in order to stay in this game. As you can see, you know, we're running low on stuff. Midnight Reaper, don't care. I'm just going to kill that with a burn spell, I think. So one of these is definitely going to the dome. This is, like... the Lightning Strike essentially has trample, right? Like, we're dealing 2 damage to this, and then they take a damage because they draw a card. I think it's correct to do this, because we can kind of just attack with impunity. I'm not entirely sure about that, about the damage there. Could be wrong. Electrostatic Field, not great here, but I guess that's a reason to wait to burn their spell, to burn them, but they're down to 6. If they get a good roadblock out, then I can just ping them Fanatical Firebrand. I would love to get some more burn spells, please. Sure, don't really care too much about Shaman. Skeleton in the graveyard does not bother me because it comes in tapped. Milled Out a Find. Monorail, sure. It's another blocker. Really unfortunate that we drew some more lands. We just pass turn. We pretty much just need our opponent not to have ways to gain life, honestly. We can wait all we want, and once we get the burn spells necessary, we should be able to win. So let's see what our opponent is doing. Okay, sure. Not really worried too much about Skeleton. I'm likely not going to be able to attack for the rest of the game. Opponent has 3 creatures in the graveyard, so Izoni would be 3 bugs. That'd be pretty bad for us. There's no way my opponent should attack. That seemed incredibly wrong. Oh, you know what? They're probably going to Finality. They're probably going to Finality. I will go ahead and just block this. Do I block this? They could, like, pump the creature, and that would kill my field, which would be bad. I guess we just take the 5, right? Like, we're still at 15. Our opponent's at 6. I don't think we care too much about that. I assume my opponent's going to Finality here, or else that's a terrible attack. Molderhulk. Interesting. Didn't expect that. Sure. I can get there for some damage. Well, another field. Do I attack to get through for a point of damage? I guess I don't. I guess I don't. At this point, a single lightning strike a single 3 damage burn spell wins the game for us. We'll get 3 off of the burn, plus 2 here, and then 1 from Firebrand. So we're kind of just waiting to draw a good card. Of note, if the Electrostatic Field was a, I don't really care too much about what they're doing, was the Steamkin, it would be functionally as bad. Honestly, it would be worse because of the fact that Steamkin wouldn't give us the guaranteed kill with a 3-minute burn spell. So, kind of just waiting on that burn. I assume they're going to attack with a 6/6. They're going to attack with everyone, which I still don't think is correct. Looks like they might be keeping Muldrotha back. I disagree with that. I think they should attack with Muldrotha and, like, not the rest of them. Here, I think I am. Once again, I don't really want to put my creatures in harm's way. This is still only 5. I'm a mad lad. I think I just take it. Because I want to be able to use Pyromancer to block the Muldrotha if I have to. I don't want to have to. Plague Crafter. Another reason to keep the Pyromancer around. Allows me to sack it to Plague Crafter. See what stuff goes in here. Sure, don't care. My turn. Any 3-minute burn spell. This is really bad. Am I just, like, dead? No. This is one of the problems running a mono red deck that doesn't have a ton of card draw. You just get in situations like this. So six of our 21 lands. So we have essentially a third. We have a third of our lands in less than a third of our deck, right? A fourth. Yeah. So that is we did draw technically poorly. We have almost a third of our lands in almost a fourth of our deck. So. Okay, that's bad. So we need to kill them like yesterday, because now our opponent can gain a bunch of life. So yeah, we pretty much just need to yeah, we need to draw burn spell. We need to draw it now. Risk factor works. So here I just chump with Firebrand, I think. And I now have perfect information, so I'm fine blocking these. So we're going to go ahead and block here, block here, block here, block like this, and then before damage, ping their face. Okay, potentially real strong. Because unless so they have to give us cards, or else they're dead. So unless we brick completely, wow, we essentially bricked completely. I guess if we had been playing lands, we could have cast this again. That said, I'm not sure that we're dead, because we block here, block. That's 2, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, we're dead. Darn. And I guess risk factor, they would have had to give us. So no, I mean they would still be at 1, right? So even if we played another land, they would still be at 1. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I should have been playing out those cards. I don't think it would have changed anything, but might have. Very unfortunate going against Spiznos. We drew way too many lands. Well, this is a better hand. Even though it has lands, it's a better hand because we have the Flame of Keld. So even if we do end up running out of gas, we do have something to do with it. Go ahead and keep. We have a 1 and a 2. 2 can get rid of something pesky. Okay. Blue-black, probably control. I do like the diversity that we're getting here. See what they end up doing. Thought Erasure. Nope, just a Moment of Craving on Lavarunner. Seems good. Really annoying land to draw, but gonna go ahead and play this. No reason to shock them just yet. Yeah, that single Moment of Craving might honestly be enough. Campaign just gonna drop one of our mountains. Actually, I think I might drop the Lava Coil. I actually don't think it matters, because I think we're just going to Flame of Keld this turn. This coming up turn. Alright, apparently I lied. So we do have to dodge a Thought Eraser. But if they have, like, that's unfortunate. The land draws are also unfortunate. I guess with this deck you can do 20. I did test the deck at 20 lands, and I just found that I didn't get enough mana. I didn't get to 3 enough to play my risk factors. But now playing a lot at 21. This is not great. We tapped out. Got another Flame of Keld. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and land, burn, and then Flame of Keld. So we really need to draw, like, the stone nuts in order to win this specific matchup. The double moment of craving was really backbreaking. Having to discard didn't really matter. You know, Lava Coil is not going to get rid of this. But that double moment of craving, it took away our pressure and gave them life. So, very unfortunate. So here we're just going to draw 2 lands. Okay, we didn't draw 2 lands. So we have a ton of mana. They can only counter one of these. I guess they could ionize into syncopate. No, I have plenty of mana for that. I guess I would rather have them counter the Lava Runner. I don't know. Oh, they could have negate Essence Scatter. They could have double Essence Scatter. Let's see if this one resolves. So they'll take 4, thanks to the Flame of Keld. I'm going to draw another 1 card next turn. And have that value again, but Ral probably going to minus on the Pyromancer, is my assumption.
Every problem has a solution.
Yep. Just so they can keep the pressure up on my Doom Whisper. That felt very loud. Ow. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah, once again, like, unless I'm doing my math horribly wrong, a third of our cards in... Oh, no, I guess this is 20, 40, 60. No, I can't do math. It's a third of our lands and a third of our deck. Yeah, I'm just belly aching for no reason. We're not dead, but I don't think we can win. Our opponent had the chained moment of cravings, and I think that's what killed us. As I said, I'm not a fan of linear aggro strategies. I think this happens too often for my taste. I would much rather lose because I made stupid mistakes than just from like petering out. And this deck is relatively prone to doing that. If you do run Experimental Frenzy, it's going to help. Just because if you get it to resolve, it's really difficult for your control opponents to deal with it. Hey, look, it's a mountain. So we are dead next turn. Even Risk Factor, I don't think, wins it for us. And instead, we got a Firebrand. That might counter it to assert dominance. Rude! Rip-a-roni. What are we, 2-2? 34 minutes? Ah, Burn's fast. We're going to play another game. You know what? Actually, we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to minus a mountain. I don't want to plus a Lava Coil. What the heck do I want here? I don't know, what do I want? Do. I was about to do another lightning strike. All right, no one tell anyone. We're throwing in an experimental frenzy. Shh, it's a secret. It's totally still budget. We'll see if we overdraw lands too much. But I did have mana troubles when I only had 20 lands, so we'll see what happens. Age of Love. I don't know if Tezzeret is the correct person for that. He is actually Tezzeret this time. We have a fine hand, not great, but we can field into a bunch of spells, so it's fine. Don't have anything that can attack, but we can at least block for a bit. And if our opponent's playing green-black, we can go and coil them. It's a nice soundtrack. That, like, never plays. See what they're on. Green of some sorts. So usually, the correct decision is to bolt the bird, as it is. And that's just because you're going to want to, like, stop them from playing degenerate things faster. But since I do have Lava Coil, I can answer a turn 2 champion of whatever the heck it's called. Oh, it's the Golgari. It's not mono green. I thought it was mono green. I was wrong. Let's see what he decides to do with his mana here. I'd love to draw a land, but I'm likely to Lava Coil something anyway. Chromatic Lantern. I didn't expect that. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn. And a turn, probably Wizard's Lightning him. Chromatic Lantern, really? Drowned Catacomb. Some sort of Sultai deck. You had my attention. Now you wait. Now you have my curiosity. I don't remember the Django quote. Branchwalker, sure. I think I'm just gonna let that happen. I'm not too worried about this. Chupacabra. I assume he's gonna keep it on top and murder my Electrostatic Field, which is incredibly rude. Just gonna burn their face. I've got a decent amount of burn in my hands. I wouldn't hate a Pyromancer here. Wouldn't hate a Lavarunner. Another land's not terrible. We're going to go on Lava Coil and Lightning Strike, I think. So that if we draw land next turn, we can Wizard's Lightning, Flame of Keld. I think it's probably reasonable. This is a sorcery, and I want to do it before my Electrostatic Field dies. So we have them at functionally 11. I don't really see... There's no point in killing these, really, just because of the fact that they have 4 mana with the Chromatic Lantern. So I'll go ahead and pass. In response to them, Chupacabra-ing, and go ahead and deal 4 more damage to their face. Could kill Chupacabra. It's not what I expected. Might end up killing Vraska? She might plus and sack a land? Or she might minus my electric... Yeah, she's gonna minus my field. I really wish Electrostatic Field could hit Vraska. I think I'm gonna burn their face, and the reason for this is if I have to, I can Wizard's Lightning Vraska, but I would rather not spend 3 damage on Vraska. Why are you saying good game? I don't understand. I'm a very confused man. So we have Lightning Strike. They gain a life with this. So I would be wasting 2. I legitimately don't know. So if the game, they would also draw a card. I think it's fine to kill Vraska. I don't love it. I think it's fine. We'll go ahead and cast Flame of Keld. Hopefully they don't have another Vraska. I'm glad they did that in that sequence. They didn't kill it with that. Don't you dare play another Vraska. Because if they play another Vraska, then I actually wasted damage. Trophy, sure. What? So my opponent is like a huge troll. There's no need for that. Risk factors are still helpful. We still have a lot of burn. They're not putting a ton of pressure on us. This is fine. We'll get in at least 1 damage, I think. So now we've probably stemmed the tide, or they're just gonna Chupacabra this. If they Chupacabra this, it's fine. They're playing Muldrotha. Nice. You know what? I'm not giving you a nice. You don't deserve a nice. Why do you have to be rude? I mean, I'm glad you're playing Muldrotha, but you don't have to be a dick about it. Yep, Vraska, sure. Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty harsh. It's not terribly likely we're gonna be able to win, unfortunately. It wouldn't be as bad if our opponent wasn't being an absolute asshole. And I can't necessarily say, like, for sure, they're being an asshole with those emotes, but come on. They're being an asshole. I try my best not to, like, emote spam people. Because even if your intentions are good, it comes off as really, like, just mean and, like, mean-spirited. Like, that's messed up. That's it. I think we did run out of gas. I don't need this anymore. Go away. I hate that it won't let me do this. Thank you. Well, you know, we're not technically dead yet, so we'll keep playing. Play this. Might as well. I mean, they can easily just Chupacabra, gain some life. Sack, like, even the Chupacabra or something. Dead weight, interesting. I like the inclusion of dead weight. Yeah, we're dead. And I'm sure my opponent was emote spamming the entire time. If I can, like, excuse me, you know, I'm probably gonna get some shit for saying this, but if I can, like, impart one thing to the people watching this video, and this is not me, like, whining or anything, like, I'm not hurt, you know, it's just, like, it's rude, it's unnecessary. I think that's the biggest part, is that it's just unnecessary to emote spam. So, like, even if your opponent is playing a deck that you hate, and you're just crushing them, right? I don't think it unless they're like, no, you know, even if they're being a dick to, you know, don't stoop to their level. You know, you're better than that. Yeah, anyway, I'd like to thank Easy Mode, Dizzy Fam, Radberry, Kyoshin, Ox, Daniel, Flowerchild, Chow, 083, Zaraga, and Mad Kills Bad for their support over on Patreon. If you'd like to join them in supporting the channel, it allows me to play you know, a bunch of different varieties of decks. Find links to that in the description below. I hope you enjoy this this budget look into mono red. If you did, go and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mail pool, and cast a comment to the comment section down below. And until next time, well, I'll be one.